You're on.
I believe so.
Yep.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of the special Dalton Selectboard meeting to order, please. And pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law 38 and 20, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Dalton Selectboard will be conducted via remote participation. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to watch the open session portion of the meeting may do so by viewing on Dalton Community Cable TV on channel 1301 or via the Zoom link on the town agenda. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure the public can aptly access the open session portion of the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite our best efforts, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of the proceeding as soon as possible. All right, this meeting is called to order, and can we stand, and if you have a flag, please say the pledge, and Mr. Boyle, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Don. Okay, Brittany, will you do the roll call, please?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, we have Chair Robert Bishop,
Here.
Joseph Dibber,
Here.
Bill Boyle,
Here.
Mark Stroh,
Here.
Dan Esco,
Here.
Interim Town Manager,
Here.
Okay. There are no minutes for this because it's a special meeting, and right now the public can address the board. This is a time when the public may address the board on any items listed on the meeting agenda or any issue or matter of the town. If you intend on addressing the board at this time, we ask you to do the following. Use the Zoom link or dial 684-6111, extension 28. Please identify yourself by name, address, or the company/institution you represent. Public address to the board segment will last no longer than 30 minutes. Please make your comments concise and try not to repeat statements made by others. Please address your comments to the board chair. Discussion or debate on any issue may not take place at this time. The chair or the designee may answer questions on procedural matters. Please be cordial and respectful of others. If anyone wishes to be recognized when the board discusses an agenda item, please make that request at this time. The board chair may grant this request. Address comments to the board chair and be concise. Is there anyone that would like to speak on any items out there? Okay.
Hey, Bob, I have one comment. There is one call-in user, and I was wondering if they can identify themselves.
Okay.
that was Brittany.
Okay. Thank you, Brittany.
Yes.
Now we know, Brittany, you can't hide now. Okay, we'll go to item 6 on the agenda, please. Jane, the Board of Health updates. And thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for recognizing me. It's a busy time in the Board of Health, as you can imagine, and I just wanted to take a quick moment to just let the board know some development since the last time that you had met. As you probably know, the governor had ordered a reduction in capacity to 25% in offices, and so we work together with the department heads, and we're doing a variety of things, including staggered schedules and also some relocation of some of the workspaces so that we're meeting that requirement, which is basically they're trying to see what the numbers do between until the 10th. So the reason why January 10th was chosen was because that gives enough of an incubation period from New Year's, which is, the last time that people presumably would be gathering if they were inclined to do so. And it was just going to reduce workplace transmission. So we have been able to meet that. Although if it is in emergency or needed, we can exceed that, but we haven't had to yet. So we're doing a lot of outreach right now. We've gotten about 160 email addresses at this point of businesses and organizations, and sending them tools like the state had come up with a nice visual handout for when people should return to work, and you know, letting them know, for instance, that testing before they came back after you've had COVID is not a recommended practice. And that really has cut down, I believe, on some of the calls to the Board of Health, although my cell phone number is pretty much out there, and businesses and organizations are always welcome to call if they have a question. Sometimes they just need someone to talk things through. The vaccines for first responders will be starting next week. It's being facilitated through the Pittsfield Health Department, and so both Fire Chief and Police Chief had given their rosters to Berkshire County Boards of Health Association, and so it is anticipated that Dalton's first responders will be vaccinated. And I'm not sure of the exact days, but the chiefs will be notified, and those first responders will get vaccinated. We're recommending that in like the police station, that they don't have everyone go on the same day, so that at least they have half go one day, half go the other, just to be on the safe side for continuity of operations. And then on COVID, the last thing I wanted to tell you is that we continue to meet with the health and wellness team for the school district weekly. We're keeping an eye on numbers in Berkshire County, including the hospital capacity and the numbers from all the communities around us. And so I would anticipate that since the school district is thinking that they'd like to try to go to hybrid on the 19th, I would anticipate there'll be a lot of discussion and a lot of close examination of what's going on in our area. We did see a little bit of a bump after Christmas and associated with Christmas and that winter holiday, and but it did not continue in Dalton, so that was a relief. And so we're just kind of keeping an eye on it, and we'll find out as time goes on what the impact of potential family gatherings will be on the COVID rates. So that's all I have for COVID, and I have a couple of other things, but before I go on, is there any questions that any of you have for me that have to deal with COVID?
Jane, one question. You know, a lot of inquiries from the elderly, and I'm not sure what the age is to be considered elderly. And they're wondering if there's a broad plan or schedule to start inoculating and vaccinating people over the required age, just as a general.
Yes. There has been a bump up, and I couldn't tell you exactly what it is. I think it's 75 or older have been bumped up on the list. What they don't really tell you is that you may have seen there's a chart, and it has phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 for vaccinations. And so what they don't really make very clear on that is the bullet number. The bullets in each phase actually are sequential. And so that has been changing, and I don't think it's probably done yet, but we did a pretty major overhaul of the website today, and so hopefully more information will be out there for people who use the website and know how to navigate that, and that is a barrier. But you know, it might be worth working with Kelly to see if we could get something in their newsletter. But the hard part is it changes so much. But if you're getting a lot of questions about that, maybe we could do a push of information to at least let people know where they should go to get the most up-to-date information.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Okay, Jane.
All right. I do have a couple things of update on solid waste, but I can put that back to the next meeting if you guys would like.
Oh, if you're there, or you want to go for it, go for it.
Okay, great. I'm really happy to say that we finalized the $20,000 grant to fund the education and enforcement coordinator, and that position has been advertised, and we would anticipate that the Board of Health will have hopefully a recommended candidate for you for your first meeting in February. And so I'd like for that to be put on the agenda, and I can remind Judy or whatever that process looks like. I'd like for that to be an agenda item if possible. The Solid Waste Committee members have been notified to get sworn in. All of them have received their letters, and so they're kind of trickling in to get sworn in on that. And there's several projects for them to start working on right away. So we're seeing some real progress in that arena as well. And that's all I have for you.
Awesome, Jane, thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, anything else for Jane before we let her go? Thank you for everything you're doing. Where do you stand in line for the shot, since you're out there on the front lines?
Well, I'm kind of farther down, but I as you know, I live in Sheffield, and so I've been doing the flu clinics all along, so I will be participating in the vaccination effort down here in South County. And it will just depend. I'm kind of on a waiting list. I think we're probably phase 2, and if there's extra, because they come in 10 doses at a time, and so if there's extra dose at the end of a clinic, I might get a jab in the arm, but definitely a little farther down, because even though I work with the public a lot of times it's either on the phone or on the computer. So I'm looking forward to getting my shot, however, when it's my time, and I feel like it's going to be a game changer for us in terms of finally starting to get back to normal.
Okay, stay safe out there, and thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is the Town Manager Screening Committee requests and recommendations. We have received a letter. Y'all got a copy of the letter from the committee, and I'd like to go right down a couple points and requests that they have. Sandy, do you want to say anything before we start?
I don't think so. I just maybe want to clarify recommendations when you get to that.
Okay.
I don't believe I received that letter.
It went twice. One today, I believe, I think, or maybe that one was just to Bob. So it was on December 31st when that went out. Around, I don't know, 6 or so.
I can read it to you right now. It's not that long. Would you like to hear it?
You could, or someone could send it to me now.
All right. I will send it to you now. If I find my phone. I can do it. Here. I'll send it to you right now. Let's wait, Dan.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you want to open it up and we'll start.
Got it, thanks.
Okay, we'll start right with the request. We request that the information shared by the committee to the select board for the interview process and recording of the interview be treated as confidential and used only in executive session. This is due to the fact that some of these individuals' current employment situations may be compromised if this information was to become public. Anyone have an objection to keep it that way as we get a little further along?
No objection, Bob. I do have a question. Is the intent for us to look at the top four and whittle it down the top three based on that?
And my understanding is right now, they're down to 4. And they want to present all 4 for us for interviews.
Okay.
But they want to get some answers to these requests and a couple of suggestions before they proceed. And
Yeah, keeping that information confidential is not a problem. That's what it should be. Until we release the names of the finalists.
right. Does anybody have an objection to that?
No.
John?
No.
Hey, Mark?
No, not at all.
Okay. Can we just do it by consensus, or do we want a formal vote?
I think
By
that's it.
consensus.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, number 2. We request that prior to the release to the public, that each candidate be notified by the select board and allowed time to respond to the select board as to if they want to move forward with an interview. Should that candidate not wish to proceed or withdraw, that their name would not be shared with the public. This again is related to their current employment status and the issue of potentially compromising the situation if they were not notified and responded prior to the information being released to the public. Does anybody have an objection to that?
No.
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 No, I agree with that.
Yeah, it really keeps everybody's, especially today's job market and stuff, you want to put yourself at a risk. And some of them may change their mind by now, who knows? As I understand, we have 4. Am I right, Sandy? We have 4?
Yes.
Yeah, but Bob, we can't engage, the select board can't engage with them for any interviews prior to that notification.
Right.
We need to put that into our timeline.
Right.
Decide to interview, it has to be public.
Yes. So I suggest the committee send these letters out to them to say, yeah, the select board's ready to interview you. Are you still ready to go? And just let us know.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
John, do you have any different suggestions or anything?
No. No, that sounds perfectly plausible.
Okay, thanks.
Can I ask you one question? Is this the letter that mentions in it about the possibility of a lesson that constraints regarding residency?
Yes. That's what
Okay. Well, it may be premature, but when that comes up, let me know. I get some information on that.
Okay, it's coming up in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. All right, now we get to the recommendations. They would like us to consider modifying the bylaw residency required in a way that may benefit the town and allow for some flexibility in the candidate's ability to comply with this bylaw. Okay, John, what do you got?
Okay. As you well know, I fully supported and recommended that the requirement be lessened. The person be allowed to live in the Dalton metropolitan area, for lack of a better term. But it comes to my attention, a former employee of the town forwarded me a copy of the Town Manager Act as enacted by the Massachusetts legislature. And in that Town Manager Act, it says a town manager will reside in the community within 1 year of his appointment to the post. So this requirement is vested in Massachusetts general law, and it's not going to change unless you change the law, which is not going to happen. So, I mean, any attempt for us to lessen it is just wasting our time. And I have a copy of that, Massachusetts general law, that section outlined to me, and I can forward it to you later on.
Yeah, why don't you forward it to the board, John? I have seen that also, and I found that out.
I can't right now because I don't know, it's on my computer, and I'd have to do away with this screen. I don't want to do it.
Oh, don't do it right now. We'll do that.
Okay, yeah, I will, absolutely.
Yeah, actually, John, I was reading the same thing this afternoon, preparing for this, so the same
Yeah.
understanding.
So I guess, I mean, it was a consensus is, I guess we can't even pursue it. And I was for it.
Yeah, I mean, there was some flexibility there, but, I mean, like you said, without, it's a state law, so, and it's in our town managers act, and we adopted the managers act, so.
So when we get to the interviewing part, or even in the letter that the committee is going to send out, they may state that in there to the potential applicant, so he knows it right up, he or she knows it right up front. They may want to not waste their time even being interviewed.
That's a good idea, John. We should tell them right up front, so there's no.
Right up front, instead of beating around the bush.
Okay, is everybody in agreement with that?
Yeah, we have no choice.
Yeah, no choice. I agree with that.
Okay,
And I will say, isn't 1 year already enough flexibility, or were they implying flexibility meaning allowing the town manager to actually live outside Dalton? Is that the flexibility?
No, they had to reside in the community up to a year, within a year.
I understand that. What I'm saying was the committee requesting that the candidate actually be allowed to live outside of Dalton. Is that, it's a little
I think
vague.
we were going to discuss it, yeah.
I think the committee only wanted you to consider it. They were not making any suggestions of any kind whatsoever, so that's kind of why I was hoping that you would read that recommendation, because in the Berkshire Eagle, it kind of made suggestion that we wanted that to occur, and we only wanted your opinion on it.
that was my fault, partially my fault, right?
Hey. Because this, we always bandied this about as though it was a bylaw. And that's why it was led to believe, so it's a bylaw, we could change a bylaw at a town meeting. But if it's embedded in Massachusetts general law, we can't change it. Well, petition has law change, that's unlikely.
Okay, thank you, John.
Okay.
Okay, and the last recommendation is consider establishing a broad-based, forward-thinking community advisory board to help the selected candidate come up to speed more quickly on everything in Dalton. Sam, do you want to expand on that a little?
The thought was to have a advisory board to help the town manager know the projects that are going on in town. Partly probably because of the master plan and what, you know, they don't know what the master plan is about, so they probably want to get, I would say the committee thought that it would be a good idea to just have an advisory board to help the new town manager know what's needed first, you know.
Okay, so that would probably include yourself, Infilio, the police chief.
I say select board members.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really not something new. We already have the organizational structure to support the new town manager. They just need to say, okay, I want to sit down with the select board, or I want to meet with department directors. You don't need to create something new. So I'm not sure what the ask is.
Yeah, if you just join like an ad hoc committee,
Yeah.
an informally structured committee, possibly yourself because you're interested in the master plan, and Sandy and Bob and the police chief, and
And
any other department head.
Yeah.
and I just want to say, I'm just one member of this committee, and I was hopeful that maybe somebody else would have chimed in. They all were invited.
Well, that's okay,
Because-
Sandy. I totally support that, and once we select a candidate, we can ask them whom they would like, and we can make that happen. We can appoint a ad hoc committee.
And I'm sure a town manager that comes in will look at our old master plan and is going to say, okay, here where I think the priorities are. Let me understand this priority more, and this priority more, and this priority more, and then bring it all together. But I think we'd all fold into some advisory panel as needed. So I don't see a problem. I don't know. I just don't know if we need to formally structure something at this point.
I agree with Joe. It just,
I mean, we're all available here anyway.
and there's department heads that would have valuable input. You know, the town highway boss.
Yeah. Okay, anything else on that? Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank the committee for all their hard work on this and getting to this point already. And Sandy, I would go ahead if you got the answers clear and just get those letters out there and let us know.
Sure. We're just assuming those questions would be asked, which is why the recommendations were made, the requests were made, and so the letter you want sent is if they're still interested in pursuing an interview. Is that correct?
Then we can start setting them up if they're agreed to everything on there. And then once they agree to interview, we'll have to release their names to the public.
Okay.
These interviews be conducted in public. Most towns do it in public.
Yeah,
Transparency.
you know, John, I honestly don't see why not, to be honest with
No,
you.
I think,
I believe the finalist interviews, if I'm not mistaken, have to be in public.
that's your answer.
Yeah, we'll be doing the same with the police chief as well. Those interviews would be with select board, but open meeting.
Okay, then that's what we'll do. I have no problem with it. Okay, so any other things on the town manager search committee? Sandy, like I said, you guys worked hard on this, I appreciate it, you saw your efforts.
Hey, Bob, when do we want to schedule those interviews for? If they have the top four, they're recommending the four to us. We'll get, the committee will get the letters out, see if there's still interest.
I say sooner the better, to be honest with you. I would say possibly by the third week of January.
Yeah. Maybe you set up, 2 in one night, so it'll only take up 2 nights.
That's
2
true.
in one night,
Yeah,
and then at some point in time, future meeting, we make a decision.
sounds like a plan to me. I like to do the idea of 2 a night.
So I'm going to request from someone in your board to send me the dates that are what you're requesting, so that we can get them scheduled. And you do have your second meeting of the month of January is going to be I don't know what the date of that is.
It was the 25th.
25th. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think? Yeah, 25th, yeah.
So if you could all kind of like get together and figure out what the dates you're talking about.
All right, Sandy, we'll come up with 4 dates, and I'll poll the board afterwards.
2 days, Bob.
Yeah, 2 dates. I'm sorry.
And I just point out that it seems like Wednesday night is a good night because we're all here.
Okay. Why don't we do it right now? Let's say the 20th or the 27th, whichever they can make, or 20th and 27th.
Well, if we're gonna make a decision on the 25th,
No, I don't think we're making a decision on the 25th.
That's our second select board meeting, John. That's all that is.
yeah, but I thought that's when we were gonna do it, at a regular select board.
I don't think we have time to make a decision by the 25th.
Mr. Chairman, the 20th is the regular monthly planning board meeting. I'm a member of that board. I could certainly choose not to attend, but just putting that out there. I'm available on the 27th, sure. I could make the 13th as well, but that might be too soon.
Okay. What about the 21st and 27th?
Thursday, Wednesday, it's good with me.
Good for me.
Works for me. How about you, Mr. Sharp? Are you still there?
Good. That's fine by me.
Okay, Sandy, those are your dates.
And Bob, I would also suggest that this may be an executive session item, but to gather to define the questions we want to ask the candidates,
Okay.
they should be consistent across all four.
Okay, maybe on the 11th, when we meet next Monday, we can go into executive session and come up with some questions. Everybody in agreement with that? Okay.
Quick question. Hey, Dan, you still on the planning board?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I thought you got out of that. Sorry.
No, I'm continuing to serve.
Okay, great.
Like it.
So I have a question about time for those, the 21st and the 27th, and without having my town government right here now, I'm hoping that, although we probably have an alternative to that, Joe's account for Zoom, I would say, if that's not available because someone else is got a scheduled meeting.
Yeah, we can use I'm looking at the current schedule for the town calendar. There's nothing on the 21st or 27th.
Perfect.
Okay, do we want to start at 6 o'clock? Would that be agreeable to everybody?
What do we anticipate, an hour per interview?
There's 5 of us, and we have questions, and they may have, I'm sure they're gonna have questions for us. I would say maybe hour 15 minutes, hour 20 minutes.
All right, we start at 6, 7:50, take a 15-minute break, then at 7:30 do the other one.
Yeah, that's good.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So we got it. Okay, anything else, Sandy?
No, so just let me reiterate, 6 o'clock start. And the next one at 7:30.
Correct.
Okay, so, yeah, I think we should be able to work that out, or just invite them in. Yeah.
Is there any concern that the two candidates to interview a week later would have an advantage over the two candidates that interviewed first by being able to view public proceedings, to know what the questions are, so on and so forth?
Good point.
Excellent point. Should we switch the questions for the second interview?
Can't do that.
No, but, you know, we've experienced this before, so.
I think we're smart enough to figure that out.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I think that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
What if we just did the 21st and or the 20th and 20th? Dan, you can't do the 20th. I was going to do back-to-back days versus waiting a week.
What about Tuesday? Oh, yeah, it still would give them an advantage.
Well, they won't be able to view it because we could, if they're a candidate, we can keep them out of the room.
Why can't we do that when we meet each week?
You know, we can't control when Dalton TV is going to post on YouTube. That's a problem.
We know where John lives.
Well, so if there's concern like that, then do they have to be public, or can they be executive session interviews? And then, I don't know. I'm just kind of wondering about that.
Now, I've seen does it at an open meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with John on that one. It's I mean, even when they did the Adams Police Chief that time, that was all an open session.
Then I suggest you give them all the questions in advance.
That's an idea too.
Because otherwise, the two candidates who interview last will have all the questions, or at least the potential to know.
Yeah.
They can-
Good suggestion. Just give
That squares up the playing field a little bit, and I think I like that.
That's how the town manager search committee did their interviews. They gave the questions ahead of time, 10 questions per interviewee, and it did take about 1.5 hours to 2 hours for each interview.
Okay, that's what we'll do then.
Are we going to receive any type of comments or recommendation from the committee?
We have a chart filled out with their degrees, if they had personnel experience, if they had a couple other different things. So we made our selections based on a screening criteria. The candidates are 4 of the ones that we chose to go forward to you.
Yep.
Andy, is it possible to send out to the board the resumes of these people before the meetings?
Of course, yes.
I'd like to review them myself.
Mr. Chairman, if I may?
Yeah.
I think also, would it be possible to get a copy of the 10 questions that were already asked the candidates, just so we don't duplicate, or consider we may want to duplicate a question, but just so we have those for reference when we meet on the 11th.
That's a great point.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's available.
Okay. Are we good? Everybody satisfied? Mark, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Mark, where are you? In the closet? I mean, I see your glasses once in a while, the light reflecting, but we've never seen you. I'm in my car. My car.
Okay. Remarks on the select board. Anybody?
Yeah, I have one, Bob, just for folks to get their thinking caps on for the agenda for next Monday. I'm going to ask for just a discussion around this idea of community panel interviews for the chief of police. And these panels will be advisory, so I just want to bring that to the board and get some thoughts on it. So I'll submit that for the agenda for next week, but just let folks know it's coming.
Oh, yeah, send me an email on that, will you?
Yeah, absolutely.
But just send it right to Judy and copy me on it, that'd be
Yeah,
good.
you'll probably saw the nice update from Mr. Parnez from the Eagle. So Larry, thank you for that.
That's a concern.
And then, so we'll discuss it more next week.
Okay.
Bob,
Yes, John.
about this Habitat for Humanity property.
That is coming up on the 11th. That will be on the agenda, John.
Yeah, but someone sent me an email the other day and said the 11th off and now it's pushed back to the 25th?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
I'll check
Andy?
into it.
So the reason for that is the Habitat and our lawyer, Catherine Klein. So I was able to get a hold of her finally, and we had a meeting with her this week. And she needs red line documents from them of changes they made to 2 or 3 of the different contracts. And because of that, she doesn't have those in her possession. We won't be able to give the 3 different kind of contracts that are needing to be signed by the select board by that meeting. So it's been put off. I didn't realize that was on the agenda. I didn't even.
That was our target.
Yeah, that was their target date without any kind of confirmation through Catherine Klein, who just got that information this week. So.
Okay, so my follow-up question is, Bob, we have these documents to sign, but we're not anywhere where we can sign it. I mean, the documents are somewhere else, and we're on this Zoom meeting. So what do we have to do? Go up to the town hall and sign them?
Either that, John, or I can have Joe send them around electronically, and we can sign them electronically like we have in the past or other things.
Some of them have to be notarized too.
So basically, we gotta go up to the town hall, and have the town clerk there, right?
Yep.
And I'll notarize them. So, it doesn't really have to be on the agenda. As soon as they're ready, we can be notified and we can go individually go up to the town hall, sign them and get notarized.
That's fine.
Sandy?
Yeah, like I said.
Yeah, I mean, they may be ready on the 15th, who knows? Then we can sign them and get rid of that issue.
Yes, I mean, it's been a long time coming. We approved this a long time ago.
Yeah, well, the virus thing came along, I guess it got stalled. But I think that's the only way we can do it. especially if it has to be notarized, is for us to go up there and sign it.
Right, and it's not just that, so before they go to closing, which I think they're expecting to do that in April, there's some things they need to accomplish that are in the purchase and sale agreement. So it's both of ours responsibility to get done what needs to get done in order to make the closing happen in April.
Okay, we'll do our part, Sandy.
Yep, we'll get it done.
Okay, good point, John, thank you. Anyone else? I just have one thing. I sent out an email this afternoon. If you can take a look at that and respond back to me, I would appreciate it by tomorrow afternoon. Or just individually respond back to me, please. All right. Anything else? Okay, this leads us to the announcements. The Town Hall, effective Monday, 11/16/2020. The Town of Dalton will be closing the Town Hall, Senior Center, and Highway Cemetery offices to the public. All offices will remain staffed and will be available by phone or email during the normal business hours. Please see the Town of Dalton website for departmental information. Town of Dalton Community Choice Power Supply Program customer notification. Diamond Energy Services is a town new supplier for the Community Choice Power Supply Program. The town's new aggregation rate is fixed at 0.09603. I figured that one out. Per kilowatt for all rate classes for 36 months, January 2021 to January 2024. You will see Diamond Energy Service named as a supplier of your electricity on your Eversource bill, unless you use another supplier. All accounts currently enrolled in the program will switch to Diamond Energy Services as of January 2021. Meter reads and will be seen on the February 2021 bills. What that? Say that fast. The opt-out or opt-out of the program, or for more detailed information about the program, go to their website, which is colonialpowergroup.com/Dalton, or call them at 866-220-5696. Let's see, new hours for compost and brush pile area, Tuesday and Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., and Friday and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Messages from the Dalton Police Department. The police department is now open to the public. The Dalton Police Department lobby is open to the public. Please feel free to stop in the scene offices. Social distancing and masks are required, and only 2 people are allowed in the lobby at a time. The processing of firearms. Firearm permits are processed between the hours of 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. by appointment only. Please call 684-0300 to schedule your appointment. No walk-ins will be accepted at this time. A check on money order for $100 made payable to Town of Dalton. Renewables over the age of 70 are free. The Dalton Police Department is reminding the residents of Dalton of the winter parking ban, which goes in effect on November 15th, 2020, and will be in effect until April 15th, 2021. There is no on-street parking allowed between the hours of 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. during that time period. The Dalton Library is now open from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Monday, Thursday, and Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Tuesday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Wednesday. Anyone in a high-risk population may schedule a time in the morning to come in by themselves with no questions asked. Lobby pickup continues for anyone who would rather not enter the building. Call 684-6112 for more information. All right, with that, I call for a motion to adjourn, please.
Mr. Chair, can I just make one comment?
Yes, you can.
Dalton Community Cable is willing to hold off on the YouTube portion of the interviews. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that'd be good. That'd be good. That's really a good idea. And then once they're done, they can play them all.
It'll play in Dalton, but not on YouTube.
Thank you, John, good idea.
Yep.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
Someone with motion to adjourn?
Second,
All right, roll call vote, John,
yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Bob, yes. Good night, Dalton, and thank everybody for their time tonight.